up? Professor Pete here. This video we're going to talk about what an animatic is. Let's get right to it. An animatic is a rough draft of a film or sequence consisting of a simple storyboarded panels that are timed out with temporary soundtrack with some movement from the camera. More involved animatics can have poses and animation planned out. So a lot of you have seen these Disney and Pixar examples I'm going to show because we've seen it, and I think it's kind of fun to see behind the scenes. So here we go. There we have the animation, and there is the animatic on the right. Notice how involved this animatic is because there's so many drawings for that shot. It's usually for our means we just have one drawing for that shot, and so they even have acting as well. So as you get more and more involved, you have more actors, you have more references to show the animation. So here's Vodafone's animatic sequence, and you can see here too there's a lot of movement. Notice the camera moving, and there are a number of drawings added on top over the backgrounds to create this animatic. Notice too the shots, how they are moving. From shot to shot, the camera is panning where the drawing is panning. This is literally storyboarding, taking those storyboards and just going shot by shot. Notice how quick these shots are, and notice how the camera is zooming in and out. Again, taking the storyboard drawings and then working from that, figuring out the timing of each shot as we were going, and moving the camera, and finally adding any additional animation in terms of poses into the animatic. So this is Take Me On. The soundtrack is playing, but it's muted. Another very famous music video. Here's an animatic for Gorillaz' Feel Good. So notice how the transitions, instead of cuts, we are seeing fade-ins by the shot, and we're seeing a lot of panning going from left to right, right to left, close-ups before the music starts playing, and we see the Gorillaz. One of my favorite animated movies, Up, and you can see the top is the animatic, and the bottom is the final output. So they're very, very close. You can see the timing is almost spot on from the animatic to what we see in the final piece in theaters. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to go as involved. I mean, these are the pros. These are dedicated people, teams of people that are producing these productions. We just need to see the timing of each shot. Maybe you decide to add movement in the camera. This is where you would place it. I noticed too, most shots are no longer than 3 seconds. So some shots may be 1 or 2 seconds. You don't want to make them longer than 5 seconds. We start to lose the audience when we have shots that are too long. So you can look up some more animatics for inspiration, but that's what an animatic is. We're taking those storyboards, we digitize them, and then we put them in some software and then time them out to show how long they would appear. And again, most of the time, this stuff is used for investors to see, and also for audience to see beforehand to make sure that the final output makes sense. And all this stuff is done in animatic format first. Everyone watches it. I mean, I think it would be horrible to have to sit through an hour and a half long animatic of a Pixar before actually seeing the final output. But nonetheless, that's the process. So it saves a lot of time in the long term, and you want to avoid as much confusion as possible. Make sure every shot makes sense, and the audience can navigate and understand visually what is happening. So again, I muted the animatics that we saw, but you will also want to put your soundtracks, music, whatever it is, also into the animatic, so you can get a stronger feel of the flow and already have some of the music in place and maybe some of the key sound effects. Anyways, that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one.